Welcome back. You're watching Newslink on eNCA. Well, after several years of delays and court cases, more than 100 District 6 claimants will return to the historical area starting from next week. The Rural Development and Land Reform Department says the keys to some 108 homes are ready to be handed over as part of the Phase 3 development of District 6. In total, there are more than 1,000 claimants, though, and plans to build the rest of the apartments are set to be completed by 2024. They're all constructed along District 6's original street network. Well, earlier this year, though, backyard dwellers tried to occupy some of the land, but the City of Cape Town won an interdict to remove them. Well, to discuss why the redevelopment has taken this long to complete, it's been fraught with all sorts of problems and political gerrymandering. We speak to Land Reform Minister Thoko Didiza. Minister, this is really a wonderful day for so many people who've been desperate to get back home to District 6 from where they were forcibly removed by the apartheid government.
Indeed, it is a wonderful day, as you say. It has been a long time, but I think it's important for me to also indicate that this is actually an addition to the 139 claimants who had already returned to District 6. If we were to go back to history, we'll recall that District 6 was actually settled in the year 2002. And thereafter, the settlement grant that was given for redevelopment to those claimants who chose to go back to District 6, they started and commenced with the housing development supported in part by the Department of Human Settlement. But that grant could not go further to enable everybody to be able to build a unit. It was for that reason that claimants went back to government to request for further assistance in order to enable them to complete the units that will house District 6. And this is part of the phase of that support in assistance of the District 6 community by government.
And there were some former residents who were very elderly and had settled already in certain areas and chose not to go back to District 6. Has government finally settled, Minister, on one plan for District 6?
If I were to just indicate that some of the claimants actually opted for financial compensation, which was paid at the time of the settlement of the claim. What is now happening is that after these allocations, we're continuing with the rebuilding of the remaining units that will house all those members who had opted for development. You would know that there was a time where the working committee, which is part of the claimants group, that took government to court to actually comply with the development commitments that they had entered into with the claimants. And after that process, there was a particular timeline that the court had given us in terms of presenting the plan to them with resource commitments to indicate that this process indeed was going to be completed, financed accordingly. And we've done that, and we've been going on interval to report to the court where we are. But what is also important is that this development phase has always been done in consultation with the claimant communities at every given point.
Minister, have you inspected the houses, and are you satisfied that they're of good quality and structurally sound, the kind of houses that the people who are returning deserve?
I have, and the engineering team has also been there, and our project management team has been there to make sure that the units that are being handed over are of sound quality. You would know that part of the allocation process is allowing the claimant community to get into those houses, look at the units, and see whether they fit their needs. The remaining phase, it's where we're also continuing to build, appreciating, of course, that some of the claimant communities may be elderly and therefore may choose, lower structures as opposed to the high-rise structures which may accommodate the younger generation.
I suppose, Minister, one of the big tragedies when people were forcibly removed from the area was that sense of community. And part of rebuilding that community is not just people returning, but it's spatial planning and making sure that their parks, that their recreational areas, have those been catered for in the final plan?
Yes, those have been catered for in the final plan to make sure that this redevelopment of District 6 actually captures the spirit of the community. We know that that was lost, but we will do the best that we can so that we build a community. And I must say, I'd like to thank the Western Cape government, but more importantly, the municipality, who have really been working with us to make sure that this development, takes place and that land is utilized to its maximum. But what also is encouraging is that the District 6 community had actually created a museum that captures the history of District 6, which will form part of this bigger development. That is why even in the last phase, we've been working with the heritage community so that where we are removing the rubble and there can still be some artifacts of relevance to capture the history of District 6, those are kept safely.
Minister, a very quick question there. There was some concern that museum was going to have to close down. So it's very informative that you say that there is hope that it will be saved. That was Land Reform Minister Thoko Didiza. Thank you so much for your time today.